All right, in our last video, we left off with the idea of alternating the images and text order based on a Boolean property in Etch. So we're going to pick up there, and we have here our alternate order that we can check, and you can see here it's showing false or true. Now, in our component editor, for our section, this is what I had needed to look up. So we have our class alternate dash order dash props dot alternate order. So props dot alternate order is going to add the true or false. So if we exit our component editor, and let's say on the second one we want alternate order true, first one false, last one false. So we should see a class on the second one here. So inspect, find our section, alternate order true. So that's what we wanted to see. So what we can do is, when the alternate order is true, now we only want to do this on the desktop view. If we did it on mobile, we would end up with text, image, image, text, and we don't want that. We want the text to come first the whole way across. So we'll go back into our component editor, and we will edit this component so that we added that to the content. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, here's our styles. So if we want this only in media. So if this item also has a class of dot alternate text true, then the image has an order of -1, which should send it to the beginning, I believe. Nope. Well, let's instead of putting this on the section, let's put it on the container. So then we can do this and rule out any still no. Alternate text true, image. Well, let's see. Alternate order true, so that's getting it. Then image is for some reason not getting the order set. Oh, that's the wrong alternate order true. There we go. Okay, so now we have alternating orders, which is exactly what we wanted. We want a few different things. One, looks like we've lost our text for this first one. Now this probably had to do with some changes I was playing around with while the video, while we weren't recording. I was trying to figure some things out so you wouldn't have to watch all of the rough parts. Okay, so here is where we're at. There's a couple things we want to do. One, we want to make the image fill up the space if the text is longer, and we want, if the text is shorter, we want to center it. So let's start with centering it. Edit component. Once again, this only needs to happen on desktop. So here in our media query, we'll say align items center. Okay, now they're centered. We also want a much bigger gap on desktop. So we'll say gap is space extra large. That looks better. And now we want to make sure that our image is taller when this is extra long. So let's double how long this is just for testing purposes. So now you can see the image is centered now, but we want the image to actually just take up that whole space. So we will that's to let me know I have a meeting in a few minutes. We will take the we have the edit component. And then under our image, we want the height to be auto, which doesn't do anything yet. Object fit is cover, also doesn't do anything yet. And there's one more piece, align self stretch. There we go. Now just to double check, I want to see, I think we do need these, but I didn't do it in the order that would make it obvious. So if we get rid of the object fit, now it just squishes the image, which is not what we want, obviously. And if we get rid of height auto, oops. I don't think we need height auto. Did anything change? Keep hitting keyboard shortcuts for save. Nothing changed, so we don't need height auto. It will still keep our aspect ratio for ones like this, but if this grows long, it will show the image the full height. The next question, do we want the image to be a little bit taller than the text so that it sort of matches? I think we do. So what we want then is just a little padding on the top and bottom of here. We also want to get rid of insert your subheading here if there's no text. So we'll start with the padding. Once again, we only want this on large screens, so container content padding block space M. There we go. So now there's a little bit of padding, and we will call that good. We should also make a class for getting rid of the bottom padding on a container, because we probably don't, like, we want this space up here to be the same as the space down here, so we don't really want the padding on the bottom in this situation where we're not using a background image or something for this. So our section should have another class what do we want to call it? Bottom 0. And we won't put this in here because we don't want it to just be, this is related to the component. This is a utility class we can use anywhere. Padding, I think it's padding that we're overriding. Padding block end 0. Let's see if that it did not. So what do we have? Bottom 0. Margin bottom 0. Padding block. So this is where we're getting our padding. If we get rid of that, we have no padding. But why does padding block end not override that? What? Well, it does pad. Maybe I miss. Yeah, padding block end 0. I don't like using important, but let's just test it. Still nothing. Padding bottom. Still no. Why? Even setting padding block isn't overriding that. Oh, wait, is this actually, is the padding on the section or is it on the container? Section. No, it is on the, it's not on the container. Here's the container. It's on the section. What if we put it here? Padding bottom 0. Wait, that did it. Wait. Okay, so we have where section, not section, section. This is apparently where it's getting the padding block, but why is ours not overriding it? Padding bottom 0 should be doing it, I think. I'm probably missing something super obvious. We're gonna go back here. So it does work if we put it in there. But not if we put it in here. Well, I'm not gonna make you guys suffer through any more troubleshooting. We're just gonna put it here for now, call it good. Which obviously has adverse effects at the bottom, but we will just let that be for now. So we're gonna take care of, if you don't have a subheading, we want an if statement here. So we're gonna say if, apparently put it at the bottom, if I believe we can go not like that, props.subheading. Well, no, actually we just want if. If props.subheading, then show it. And we did something wrong. Condition. Basic conditions. If, oh, we probably need not empty. Advanced. So I guess we need to, I thought we would just be able to say if it exists, but not equal to empty. Still no. What? We don't need the brackets because we're already inside brackets. Props dot subheading. It's not equal. Oh, is this because we're giving it a default text? And then we have to go exit and get. No, that's not, there's nothing there, subheading. Well, let's test our, man, you guys are getting a lot of troubleshooting today. Let's test our thing. We'll just say if true. Display if false. I don't actually know if this works either, but there we go. Okay, so that's correct. So if props dot subheading. Then we're gonna, so I think the problem is we set a default value for, I'd removed it for the heading, but not for the subheading. There we go. Shows if you have it, doesn't if you don't. Okay, I think the last thing that we need to do on this page is fix this so that we can have paragraphs. The user needs to be able to edit it in here. So it can't just be in this text field because then we can't add paragraphs. So what we need is a slot. So we're gonna say what we need right here. We don't need props.text anymore actually. So we're gonna get rid, well, let's add our slot. And we'll give our slot a name of content text. Can we name it here? No, we can't. Slot, oh, we name it down here. Content text. So there we have a slot, and we're gonna move it into the bottom of our content. And we don't need, well, actually let's put the text, yeah, we don't need the text, and we don't need text. Okay, so there we can save our component, exit, and now we can add text in here. So looks like it still keeps all of our text, which we don't want anymore. See if we broke anything. Okay, that's perfect, no text anywhere. Now what we need to do here is we need to add some text. So we want a paragraph. Ideally, the slot would show up in Gutenberg, but it doesn't appear to. If I add a paragraph, it goes in between, not in. So we have to add, there may be a better way of doing this. I may not know the best way, but we're gonna add text in our slot, insert your text here, save. Now we'll go back to Gutenberg. And I thought that insert your text here should show up in Gutenberg. Well, let's see, does it show up? It doesn't show up on the front end either. Oh, there's this little guy, add content text slot. So just creating a slot in your in the component editor doesn't actually add it here. So we have to click this little thing here. There, now we have a slot to work with. Now we put our text in the slot, and we go back to Gutenberg, and now we have insert your text here. And so what we want here is to be able to put in just a paragraph, and then another paragraph. Well, let's start with paragraph. Maybe if we put in multiple paragraphs, does it automatically give us multiples? Yes. doubled that, which we don't need to do. Oh, that's a different block. We'll just we can't. Doesn't look like we can delete that one. Wait, doesn't. Yeah. But can we delete this one? Delete, yes. Oh, we can. There we go. Enter text. Don't need to. Okay, let's now see what we have going on the front end. The order, oh, we somehow deleted too much. Makes every okay, there we go. Save. And now we have it. So we can go back through and what do we need? So for each one, it looks like we have to add the slot, add the slot, and I don't think that's enough though. Yeah, there's still no way of adding that I know of. I'm not a Gutenberg expert. In fact, I typically have tried to stay away from Gutenberg as much as possible because there's always gotchas. All right, we will add to this slot some text. We'll add to this slot some text. I didn't click the right thing. Save. Gutenberg. Refresh. So now we should have text here that we can replace with this text, and text here that we can replace with this text. And there we go. Now we have a working about, an almost working about us page. Why did we lose all of our content? Save. Maybe I had oh, now it's gonna give it all this line breaks. Why? Oh, because we didn't turn this into a paragraph first. Paragraph. Now let's paste. There we go. All right. Man, this is a longer video than I expected it to be, but we have a working about us page, and that'll be all for now.